the Young Turks 14 years Happy Women's Day.
Any suggestions on what are the other things that the government or the private sector, corporations need to do?
Well, last year we had Flipkart announcing a 24-week maternity leave.
Yeah.
This year we have Deloitte already announcing as 26 weeks. And we also had, obviously we will have KPMG and PwC announcing even better leaves. But then PwC has already announced an umbilical cord for 7 years. It allows the woman to remain a part of PwC without being actively participating in the role and without pay. So I think that's the kind of flexibility that we need in terms of being an employer. We do have certain queen bee syndrome at work, right? Women who rise to the top, they seldom groom similar kind of leaders in the workforce. We have to use these syndromes to build a better women workforce, not as a deterrent.
But the big question here is, we can have 26, 28 weeks of maternity leave, but then there's this gender bias which comes in where companies feel, oh, let's not hire these many women, they all will go on these maternity leaves for 6 months. And so my question is, the mindset needs to change. It's a natural phenomena for a woman to go through motherhood. So what do we do about this mindset change? How does that change?
India has a very, very unique situation, right? Our representation of women in the entry level, which means a data entry, call center, etc., is pretty high.
Yeah.
The largest dropout happens when women move from junior to mid-management. Okay, whereas you look at any other country, women actually 50% drop out from junior to mid-management, whereas other countries, from mid to a senior position, the largest dropout happens.
Exactly.
And the thing is, if we do not solve for this leakage that's happening at a very, very early stage, it's going to impact corporate life to a very large extent, and it's going to get really only bad because, your senior positions will not be filled by women.
Yes.
So that's why I strongly believe in this point of, having really early childcare facilities need to be provided for women.
Yes.
Be it creches that are given by corporates, be it even, reducing the age of, letting, children enter schools, for example, kindergarten. Maternity leave, we're talking about 3 months, we have to, move on to a flexi work environment. And when I say flexi work, I think corporates need to understand and move to a KPI-driven approach rather than, number of hours approach for women. Obviously, we as women, also have to take the responsibility of delivering in the hours. So it has to be a KPI and deliverables approach that companies need to take for women.
I'm all for flexi timing, right? In fact, at Baby Chakra, we work with hundreds of women, as content contributors, as bloggers, as community managers. They work from home. It's very, very flexible, and I'm a big champion of flexibility, but one sort of very practical watch out, please make it a point to ensure that you have at least 1 day a week or 1 day in 2 weeks of in-office time where you're sort of meeting the people who matter, ensuring that your work is being recognized. Because many times we are very, very silent, just doers. We don't speak about what we do. And we just speak up and make our presence felt.
Atibhi, you're mentioning the fact that, the dropout of women when they go from a middle management to a senior management role. The irony is that women usually have kids between the age of 28 to 35 years. And that is the time when they're moving from a middle management to a senior management. Most of them drop out, opt out of working, and because, the guilt trip is there, I'll take a 2-year break. And then after 2 years, when they start their second innings, if I may call it, as a young professional, as a young woman entrepreneur, they lose confidence, they lack confidence, they are outdated in some sort of skills. Do you feel there needs to be an ecosystem built for them to train, for them to give that sort of confidence?
An ecosystem would help, but I think as women we really need to also embrace digital, right? Now one of the things is after 2 years we come back and somehow we lose confidence. Why do we lose confidence? Because the friends that we have are either in the same situation as us, they're busy with family, or we have male friends who've risen up the ladders who are not responding to your requests, right? So I think 2 things really help. You need to literally, remove all inhibitions and, as I said, seek out help. 2 is, when I say embrace digital, it might seem intimidating, right? How do I promote myself on digital platforms? But think of the advantages, right? You don't know a network that is existing for your particular business, but a LinkedIn gives you that, right? You don't understand Twitter, but the same platform, the digital platform is having 1 million free videos for you to show you how Twitter would work for you. So, we have to just lose our inhibitions, and I know a lot of women who don't like digital, right? We have to just embrace it, and that will take you forward.
So the other point on digital, and that's very valid, is that use the Coursera's and Udacity's of the world to reskill, right? So the days of instructor-led going and enrolling is finished. You feel you need to get into a digital marketing course, go to Udacity, enroll. This is available at your fingertips, right? And this is the time you're utilizing when you're at home. And your learning is much better because there's no pressure of that presentation that needs to be sent, right? You probably have a crying baby, but that's manageable, right?
So Anuja, you're helping a lot of technology startups build their businesses. Tech is some space that you don't see a lot of women entrepreneurs. They tend to choose the traditional fields, work in the similar kind of ventures. So, can you share with us some interesting stories from there?
So unfortunately for me, technology is something that everybody is like always fumbling with, right? And that hurts me a lot, because I think given a choice to me, I would have every kid, especially every girl child, doing coding like from day 4. All right. So I think it's so important. So I think what I see is that all of these women have started this great business venture, but they've outsourced a part of, let's say, the technology to somebody, and that's not moving. And that's why they're stilted, because, it's not moving forward. So I think my biggest thing is you need to know every aspect. You might not be, great in that, but you need to know. So if somebody's telling you, hey, do you want to run a Magento as an e-commerce, you need to know what the hell Magento is. Don't depend on folk. This is lady, for example, I have this example of this engineering girl who worked in New York in business intelligence, comes back. Her passion is selling clothes online. She's doing 5 clothes a day online, right? And I find, what's the problem? Oh, there's an issue with the payment gateway. So I'm like, you've got to do something about it. And how difficult is it to Google it and find about it, right? So I think you have to take all the aspects in your control and learn about everything.
Consider your focus first. Either you are building a unicorn, the next highest revenue product, or you're building a high value product, which is a kind of a Wikipedia. Identify mentors who have already built. Whether they have succeeded or failed, it doesn't matter, but they have built and they have taken that journey. Gender doesn't matter. Reach out to those mentors.
And just to add to that, that's a great point. Literally, I use LinkedIn shamelessly when I moved back to India. I also realized a lot of mom entrepreneurs are on Facebook. I think you should just look for women entrepreneurs who are on Facebook. I think a lot of women are more open to having women request friendship on Facebook, and I think they immediately begin chatting. Just use social media shamelessly. Just put yourself out there.
The Young Turks 14 Years Happy Women's Day.